When you come in, though, Vince McMahon is taking over the world. What's your relationship like with Vince McMahon while you are currently in the company as the fabulous Rougeaus? Because your characters are over, people love you and hate you. When you hug each other, they boo you when you hug each other.
Oh, yeah.
What's your relationship like with Vince McMahon? Because so many companies have so many bosses and managers, but he is the head honcho.
Yeah, and he was hands on. He was always available. He was there. If you wanted to talk to him, you could talk to him. He would talk to you directly. But at that time, I could say our relationship was very professional. He respected us a lot because, the business, some guys could be major headaches, could be, could have big problems and stuff. With my brother and I, we were not headaches and not problems for him. So he respected us. He liked us. He respected our work, appreciated our work. Um, when we see him, though, it was we didn't mingle with him. Like he didn't mingle with a lot of the boys back then. And but when we cross him, hey Vince, how you doing? He says, hey guys, what's up? Everything's cool, yes. But it was like that, basically. Hello, how are you? And everything's okay. Yes, it is. Good to see you, and nice to see you too. That was about it. I became a lot closer to Vince after my wrestling career when I became the commentator, because then I remember in the beginning, I started doing TV for the French market. Then I was doing French interviews, like doing translation. Then I did the French voiceovers. I was doing the broadcasting. Then Vince had me doing stuff in English also. I was doing, if you remember, at one point, for a couple of years, I was doing the live interviews out of the ring. I was replacing Gene Okerlund, actually, that would do live interviews, but Gene was tired of being on the road so much, this and that. And they came up with me as a suggestion, replace Gene doing the live interviews on the ring. I did that for a couple of years. And then I got working a lot closer to Vince because I needed to get with him. Like if I'm doing an interview with Undertaker, I have to know what direction he wants that interview to go. Where, because I could go do an interview and not talk about what he wanted me to talk about. So I need the guidance. I need the direction. So I'd go to see Vince and I'd ask him where, what he wants with the interview and all that. He'd give me his idea. Then I'd come in with Undertaker. Me and Undertaker would be with Vince. He'd give us his ideas. Then we'd go away. We'd, work our interview together. We come back, run it in front of Vince. He says, okay, perfect. Or he'd have us change something. And then they'd call the truck, okay, Raymond's ready with Undertaker. Then they'd fit us in, okay, after the next match, he's going to do the live interview. But I did that on every TV show because I'd have interviews on every TV show. So I had a lot more interaction with Vince. And I became good friends with Vince, actually. There was one that he invited me. He was having supper with his producers. He invited me to have supper with them. One night, I'm coming down. He was having breakfast at the same hotel as me. And I said, hey, Ray, come and join me for breakfast. We sat down, had breakfast together. One time he came in studio. I was doing voiceovers. When Vince came in studio, everything stopped because Vince is going to do his thing, because he's the head honcho now. He runs the company. He'd walk in, everything shuts down. Vince does his thing, then leaves. When he came in, he says, hey, Ray, I really apologize for this. I said, hey, man, it's no problem. I'm here anyways, He says, hey, I came over with my motorcycle. He says, you know how to ride my motorcycle? I said, yeah, I got a Harley. He said, I got mine outside. Do you want to take it, go for a ride with it if you want? But he says, promise me you won't go kill yourself now. I said, but I didn't want to go, we're at Stanford on Interstate 95, So, but I appreciate it. They offered me, take my motorcycle, go for a ride on it, I did a promo with Leslie Nielsen for a SummerSlam event when there were the two Undertakers, and that was done at Vince's house. So I was at Vince's personal. When I fall in the pool, when I started, have you ever seen that promo?
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Okay, so I started on that pool side. I started. I didn't like it. I'm going to start again. And then Leslie Nielsen comes by and said, "There are what pool side trying to catch some rays." He bumps into me. I take a bump into the pool. That's Vince's swimming pool. I'm in his house there. And then I was in the house teaching with Leslie Nielsen together. Super nice guy, by the way, he was. But I developed a great relationship with Vince. And at one point in the WCW time, I'd been approached to jump ship like a lot of people had done. And somebody even said to me, what if they tripled your salary? And I said, I'm never going to double cross Vince. So I said, don't call me again. And at one point, you remember my brother went to WCW with Pierre Calabutan. Yep. And then around him with Kevin Dunn, everybody says, what about Ray? You know, I was doing live interviews on the ring, doing all this French broadcasting. You know, what about Ray? And I knew when my brother went there, that made me a bit uncomfortable, but it was his choice. And, you know, I respect his choice. We were in San Antonio, Texas for a Survivor Series. And as I was walking down the ramp, Vince, I see, Vince coming down the ramp. He was with Pat Patterson and Kevin Dunn and all that. I was just coming down and waiting for him. And I said, Vince, can I talk to you for a moment? He said, yeah, no problem, Ray. So I said, you know, this is a small world. And I said, you know, my brother's gone to WCW. And he says, I'm sure a lot of people around here are going to start wondering about me towards you. Can you trust me? And there was a big pillar. I mean, a cement pillar, probably 10 feet diameter, holding the second floor where the elements are. I said, Vince, I said, you see that pillar right there? Well, I said, I'm as solid for you as that pillar is to this building. And I told him, I said, I'll never double cross you. I said, been approached, and I said, don't call me. I said, I'll never double cross Vince. I said, I appreciate the opportunity I got here. I appreciate, you know, being here. And I said, I'll never double cross you. He gave me a big hug. He took me aside, gave me a hug. He says, Ray, he said, I wish I had more guys like you. So I really appreciate it. I said, Norm, never worry about me. And I never double crossed him. And at one point, it came back because we stopped the broadcasting in French at one point. The contract was up in France. They had a problem. This guy says, what are we going to do with Ray? He says he can do English interviews. How to do some English interviews? Give him something. He could have just said, well, Ray, sorry, we got to let you go. No, he says, give him some English interviews. I was doing, at that point, we're doing taping for 3 weeks at a time and 2 interviews per show. He'd fly me out to where we're taping. I do 6 2-minute interviews. And I was paid full salary all year round to do 6 interviews every 3 weeks. So 12 minutes of work every 3 weeks that I was being paid because he appreciated my loyalty. And so he was returning the favor at that point.
Wow. It's funny you say that because there's a lot of loyalty you hear over the years. Howard Finkel, Harvey Whippleman, other people like that who all never left. When clearly they could have, Gene Okerlund left, Bobby Heenan left, Hogan, Macho Man, the list is endless. Right? Anybody who ever worked there left. And I remember the feeling amongst wrestling fans and media was, well, Vince is getting a taste of his own medicine because he stole all the top talent from all the other territories and closed it down. And now he has a monopoly over it. Well, WCW is doing the same thing, except it's not a wrestling company. It's a TV company running a wrestling show. And obviously have more money and more. They have the loyalty, obviously, you showed. He respected that. And then,
like I said, we became good friends. When I was gone from 2002, then everything was over. And I came back home. I was gone until 2017. I came back when they brought Jean and I back to do the pay-per-views on the WWE Network, broadcasting for the French market. I've been gone 15 years. First time I saw Vince, I walked in, he was still hands-on, looking at the angle of the lights and checking if everything was fine in 2017. All of a sudden, I walk up to him from behind. I said, hey, Vince, how you doing? I hadn't seen him in 15 years. He says, how you doing? He said, Ray! He gave me a hug. He says, God, it's good to see you. I said, it's nice to be back. He says, I know. And he said, Ray, you haven't changed a bit. I said, you either. He said, we're both lying, aren't we, right now? I said, yeah, but I said it's good lies, But it was fun to see him again. Yeah, no,
Again, he's like the Walt Disney to professional wrestling. Um, the,
What I appreciated also is, you know, I always took care of myself financially in the business. I always invested in stuff. When I came to WWE, it was like, wow, you've made it to the big leagues. You're making more money. And it opened the opportunity. I mean, got to wrestle in places I never would have dreamed of. And even when he brought me in as commentator, I was like, Vince, I've never done that before, you know? He says, you'll do fine. I learned on air how to do it, you know? But it was the opportunity game. And for me, it was like he saw something in me that I didn't see myself, you know? And that's the genius of it. He will see things in people that they don't even know they have. And personally, I always thought I wasn't good on interview. I could, you know, now I want to be doing the play-by-play and color and whatever on a 3-hour pay-per-view live. I would have, I could never do that, you know. But he got me to do that, you know. So for me, he made me blossom into even more. I was more than just a wrestler. All of a sudden, I was a wrestler, English commentator, French commentator, color commentator, play-by-play, interviewer, live in the ring, live pay-per-views, you know, 3.5, 4 hour live pay-per-view. No sweat. I'll do it tomorrow. Just like that, you know? I don't know. It just made me blossom as a person. I was